This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Geof Searles. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Jennifer Poteet and Patrick and Keegan to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. We really, truly could not do this without you. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 25 of Knife of Dreams.
Yeah, Chapter 25 is Attending Elaida.
Uh-huh.
Biggest fake-out chapter title, I think, ever.
Yeah, and then also the chapter symbol is 5 dice.
Oh, yeah, it's like fake-out. It's like the person you think is attending Elaida, well, it's not that one.
You think they're going to.
You think we're going to see like an Egwene Elaida? Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this ought to be good.
I know, and you were really excited last episode because it's like it's a lead-in, and then it's like, oh no, we're gonna talk about Tarna. Remember who Tarna is? There we go.
Yeah, kinda.
Jeez.
Okay, well, I have a guess about what your fun fact might be about.
Can I guess what your guess is gonna be?
No.
Okay.
I have 2 guesses.
Okay, go. I think you're gonna be wrong, but go.
Okay, and then after you could be like, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, the first one is snakes.
Yeah, because they're talking about like poisonous or venomous, and I'm pretty sure they're wrong. Mm-hmm. It's not that. You're wrong.
It's not snakes?
Yeah.
Second one, how to take someone's temperature.
Oh.
Different ways to know if someone has a fever.
No,
not that either.
Neither.
Okay.
I was thinking about the first one. I decided to not do it.
Okay, too obvious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I decided to go with the Band of the Red Hand because the band's back, baby. Like, we're here.
Oh,
we're doing it.
Fun fact about the Band of the Red Hand?
Heck yeah. That's what we're here for. Anyways.
What are you going to tell me about?
Okay, so the symbol for the Band of the Red Hand is the literal red hand on the banner. Mm-hmm. And it's the name of the group of the legendary band of Manetheren heroes. It's the group that died defending King Aemon when the Trollocs attacked Manetheren.
Oh, did I know that already?
Yes, that was like in the first couple chapters of The Eye of the World.
No.
We learned about King Aemon dying, and
but
then later on we learned about Manetheren.
Okay, I didn't know that. Band of the Red Hand is from that.
Yeah, like, and then when he formed it, we got a callback.
Don't remember.
With that, and it's like, oh, that's where the name comes from, and it's all the Manetheren heroes. So anyways, like, we do know that, but the red hand used for the band is actually the symbol used to denote the Irish province of Ulster, and it's known as the Red Hand of Ulster. And it technically has been used by a few other Irish clans across the island. It's an open hand, colored red, with the fingers pointing upwards, thumb parallel to the fingers, and the palm facing forward. Usually it's shown as the right hand, but not always. But the red hand is actually rooted in Gaelic culture as a sign of a great warrior, and the first documentation of it dated back to about the 14th century, and it's actually incorporated into the modern flag of Ulster. Ulster is one of the 4 provinces of Ireland. So in medieval Irish literature, there's several real and legendary kings who were given the byname Red Hand or Red-Handed, signifying that they were great warriors because their hand was red because it was covered in the blood of their enemies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What is up with the term caught you red-handed? Any relation?
It's a good question.
Didn't look it up. Got it. He's furiously looking it up now. That didn't cross his mind. Got it.
Okay, so apparently that term originated in Scotland in the 15th century when it was used to describe capturing a murderer who still had blood on his hands.
Okay.
So, you know.
Similar.
I like it. And that is, of course, based on the very first thing that Google said as an automated answer. So I assume it's true.
All right, well, let's get into this one.
Yes, okay.
Now, the first thing I do want to talk about, because I don't want to brush over the fact that last time I was like, hey, is Elaida's tower even being built?
Right.
There was mention of it this chapter.
Okay.
It is still being built, but just very slowly.
Right.
Because when you have to build things without the power, so slow.
Oh, yeah. And also, I said I hate manual labor.
No,
and
so they're not going to do it.
It would be classified as manual labor, too. So, same with the whole harbor chain thing.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to do it.
I know, but it's like, your entire city is going to starve if you don't.
Yeah, but who's going to starve last? The Aes Sedai. There you go.
Okay, so we are going to enter in our Tarna perspective, and in case you forgot, because I did not, I didn't forget.
You remembered
I know who this is.
everything about her. I remember all the interactions.
Well, she's the new keeper.
Yeah, perfect recall. There you go.
Yeah, after Alviarin was pulled down.
Right.
Now, my favorite thing about Tarna in this chapter is how she was like, oh, I shouldn't be worried walking through the hall because no one's going to attack a keeper.
Right.
Or I shouldn't be worried going into other Ajas. No one's going to attack a keeper.
It's like,
and I was
maybe.
like, literally the last keeper was pulled down and serves daily penances.
Right.
And the keeper before that was literally attacked and her warder killed and she was stilled.
Shoot.
So,
okay.
like, I don't know why you're so confident about how no one would attack a keeper.
Ooh, good point. Good point. Okay.
Not looking good for keepers
Yeah, but
this
see,
year.
see, this time it's different.
Because it's
different.
her.
Yeah.
If anything, things are worse. Things are worse now than they were before.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Things wouldn't go that poorly for me.
Right,
It's
but
like,
she's
what?
playing it safe. She's not going into other
Oh, no,
Ajas.
she's not going to do it.
Yeah.
But she's like, I shouldn't worry about that.
It's like, you should. You should be overly worried right now. Anyways.
Anyway, so she is heading towards Elaida's apartments, which is really, really high up.
Yeah, and we've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we learn that doorways and hallways are all moving around, but she's just going to keep on going.
Yeah, eventually you should get to where you're going,
Yeah.
right? Just keep walking. It's fine. A couple things I wanted to bring up, though, about Tarna as a reminder of who she is and how she got here. So she is the keeper, like you said, but originally she was the emissary to Saladar during the split. And then it took her a long time to show up to Saladar.
I remember. She was the one who rode in.
Yes.
But didn't have a warder.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
And then she also took a long time traveling back, and then she spent some time in Dorlin, which is like the cheese town by the tower, right?
Yes.
And then Katerina showed up. Exactly.
Gawain was there.
Eventually, she made her way into the tower, and then
Cheese
she
town.
was made. It is Cheese Town. That's like
Cheese town.
Anyway, she was made keeper by. Because Alviarin just sucks. But the big thing is she didn't want to be keeper, but she kind of had to be.
Mm-hmm.
And very important to this entire chapter too is that she was the one that Pavara talked about, like she approached.
Talked to about, yeah.
Exactly, because of the whole one answer from Crossroads of Twilight as the one answer to dealing with the Black Tower, which is bonding the Ashaman.
Right, and
really,
I'm like, you are so far behind.
Yeah. And, like, they're behind, more behind than the rebels even, and they're behind.
And they're so far behind.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah, and if Logain didn't literally show up here... Oh, it wasn't Logain. It was the other Asherman. Logain showed up to the Sea Folk, and Jahar... Narishma showed up
to the
rebel camp.
Exactly.
To tell them, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So, we'll see, Tarna. My favorite thing, though, too, that she does mention about all of this is that bonding a man is not only against custom for Reds, but against the law.
Yeah.
She mentions that. I didn't know it was like that serious.
Yeah, and I mean,
Reds.
it's, you don't do it, right? Like, it's not a thing you do.
No, but that's against custom. The custom and law, like, I feel like it's literally illegal.
Right.
For a Red to bond a warder, so they're going to have to break the law here.
Well, and, like, hypothetically, you could rewrite the law, which is sometimes easier to do than, like, breaking custom, so there's that to consider. But also, we're not just talking about bonding men, we're talking about male channelers.
Right.
So it's even a step beyond that, so... But, of course,
it's crazy.
The Reds are the only ones who can possibly deal with this.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Too bad you guys aren't going to get to do that at all. Like, literally never.
Yeah, like the Black Tower is going to say, okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Tower.
Oh, no.
And on your terms, because it's happened already, but it's like, it wasn't on your terms.
No, and no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. It's a good thought, though. Good thought.
Well, I guess they're not the only ones who had it. And I mean, the rebels at least discussed having some kind of treaty and alliance, kind of.
Right.
Right? Whereas they're like, no, we will forcibly capture them and bond like 3 or 4 each if we need to.
That's what we can probably handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good plan. All right.
All right. So now Tarna is going to arrive at Elaida's apartments, and Elaida's in here having wine with Maidani.
Yes. Okay. Do you want a reminder on who Maidani is?
Okay. So we heard about Maidani. We talked about her last chapter.
Okay.
Because she is one of the ferrets from Saladar.
Yes.
And she's a gray.
Yep.
And Beldine is the one who came back and ratted on the ferrets. So told Elaida who the ferrets are.
Yep. Wait, no. It's a B name. Wrong B name, though.
Okay. What did I say? Beldine?
Yeah, not that one.
Okay. Let me consult my notes. Okay, we have Bernila, who's another ferret.
Not that one, though.
We have Barana,
Yeah,
who's
not
in
that
the rebel
one.
camp.
Not that one. Also not Bera, not that one.
No, not Bera. Oh, Beldine is from the Aes Sedai who were with Rand.
Yeah.
Who were at Dumai's Wells.
Yep.
And so that leaves us here with Baonin.
Baonin's the one you're looking for, right?
You know, people always talk about how many Aes Sedai
There's
have
a lot of
S
Bs.
names.
Yep.
There's a lot of Bs.
Yep, okay.
Okay, Baonin. Baonin is the one who turned on the rebels, went back to Elaida, and told on everybody.
Yes.
So Meidani is someone who was warned.
Yes.
And also, a while ago, this is what I wanted you to confirm for me.
Okay.
So at some point, some time ago, we learned that Meidani is Elaida's old friend, and somebody wants her to go back to being Elaida's friend to basically spy on her.
Yes. Okay, so that's the Black Aja hunters in the tower. So Yukiri and crew, the Black Aja hunters, happened to catch Meidani because they were looking for people who were acting suspiciously. Meidani was being suspicious, but not because she's a ferret, not Black Aja. So they used the oaths.
That's how they figured out there are ferrets.
Exactly. So the Black Aja hunters figured out there are ferrets, but they didn't make the ferrets turn themselves in because they want to use the ferrets to get to possibly Elaida, who they thought might be Black Aja and or Alviarin, and obviously we know Alviarin is.
Yep.
But Meidani was told by the Black Aja hunters that she has to rekindle that friendship with Elaida, but she tried, but Alviarin shut it down.
Okay, and now Alviarin's out of the picture.
Exactly, so now Meidani is actually able to do it because the Black Aja hunters were like, you gotta go keep trying.
And we learn in this chapter that old friends means pillow friends.
Yes, lovers for a time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's funny because now it's like Meidani knows, but Elaida doesn't know that Meidani knows that she knows that they know. And then
Tarna's like, I think she knows. And Elaida's like, no way she knows.
No way she knows. Okay. She's just terrified for other reasons because I want her to be terrified.
And we just wrapped up that entire chapter.
Done. There you go. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, we'll break it down a little bit further here.
Let's back up.
Now, Meidani's here, dressed quite seductively.
Oh, yeah.
With her tits out.
Basically. That's how we're showing up.
And she's acting a little nervous.
Yes. Probably because Meidani knows.
Like, oh gosh, I feel like I just walked in on lovers or something. And it's like, well.
Sort of, yes.
Because Elaida later is like, oh, I think I might let her. She's going to spill more beans in bed than she is going to here with me.
Yeah, exactly. So there is, but also Meidani's probably freaking out because she knows that Elaida knows.
Yes.
But Elaida doesn't know that Meidani knows that Elaida knows.
Yeah, it's a friend situation for sure.
Okay.
The messers have become the messies.
Exactly.
So now we are going to get some quick updates on how things are going from Elaida and Tarna's perspective here.
Right, yeah.
So Elaida has ordered the negotiations with the rebels to stop, but the sisters are not listening to her.
Right.
And that's the theme here.
Yes, nobody's listening to Elaida because she's the worst.
Yeah, and there's a note that the rebellion against the Seanchan and Terabon seems to have failed.
Yeah.
Because the Seanchan are back in control, but I'm also taking that with a grain of salt.
Sure.
Because of how misinformed Elaida is.
Yeah.
And how the last time we saw that whole situation with that general guy.
Yeah, Ituralda. Right.
It seemed like they were really doing well.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't really know, and I wouldn't ever trust the word of the tower.
No.
Yeah, at this point, they're not really a trustworthy source of news.
Yeah, and then Elaida's like, I want an update on the seals for the Dark One's prison, because those can't break.
Right.
And it's like literally almost all of them are broken.
Yeah, and you guys don't even know where they are.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be
How
like
are you supposed to know?
keeper.
No news. Surprising.
Hey, they watch the seals. The Amberlin is the watcher of the seals. Nothing to do with protecting the seals.
Yeah, and watching is like metaphorically
watching the seals.
Because
there's another one. Yep, that one's broken
them.
too.
Yeah,
yep, that's okay now. Yeah, it's the end of the world. I watched it.
I watched it all happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're also working on fixing the harbors. It's going super slowly, and apparently what Lyanna was able to do was enough. Turns out, because the big ships can't get in.
Yeah.
And they're working on basically destroying
Yes, they have to like rip it out.
Yeah.
But that's what we were talking about. I said I hate manual labor, so they don't show up for duty basically to help rip the chains out. Right. So it's going even slower.
Yeah. So Tar-Valon is starting to feel the strain of the siege.
Yeah, and I love it because Elaida, then we get like a little bit of a Elaida freak out because nobody's listening to her, and she's like, I'm ordering everyone to, you better show up for your shift on Monday to help with the chains, and
no one does. Mostly Reds. Mostly only Reds are doing that.
Exactly, and it's like only because she is from the Reds, so it's like the whole mutual Aja support for the Amyrlin. But...
Right. And then almost kind of offhandedly, Elaida's like, oh, by the way, how's Egwene doing?
Well, it is offhanded because this is the first time.
And then Tarna's like, well, this is the first time she's asked since her capture 9 days ago.
Timestamp. And
I'm like, well, hold on, because that's what we got from Egwene at the end of last perspective.
Yes.
It's her 9th day.
It's 9 days, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we're lining up. It's like, oh man, attending Elaida, should it not be an Egwene Elaida like meetup?
Yeah.
And we get the lead in.
We get the lead in for it.
Claims
to be the Amyrlin seat against you.
Yes.
And you're just not even gonna...
It just goes to show...
You're not even gonna ask how things are going. But
here's the thing.
Elaida's head is so far up her ass. It's wild.
But the rebels did the same thing with Egwene, just in even nominating her for Amyrlin. Like, it's the exact same situation where they thought it's like, it's not a real situation. Who cares? She's a dumb accepted / novice, whatever you want to consider her.
I'm going to rebuttal.
Okay, fair.
Because it's not the same situation.
Okay.
Yes, they thought she would be a puppet in the rebel camp. Absolutely. But even if Elaida believes that Egwene is a puppet Amyrlin, she is still abducted from the rebel camp.
True.
She still has information.
Yeah.
She still claims to be the Amyrlin seat. And like if you want to pretend that she's a novice and the Amyrlin would never just like hang out with novices.
And like Tar-Valon is currently under siege. So.
And her mission to turn the Iron Gates into Quendiar worked. Like she was able to do that.
Yeah.
And you don't even want to know how she's getting along here?
So are you calling Elaida an irresponsible leader?
Yeah, I just said her head's up her ass.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we agree on that. That's you make some really
so wildly arrogant. Like that's really what this is.
Yeah.
The fact that she's not even like every day, she's not like, hey, how's Egwene doing? Because we're letting her just walk around the tower here, like half fork-rooted.
Yeah.
Right? But she can still channel a little.
Yeah, just like a trickle though. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to Elaida as a character.
No, I know.
Overly arrogant.
I really do think that this power has gone even further to her crazy head.
Yeah.
So
I would like to reference too that we did have a visit from Pan Fane, and he seems to exacerbate things with people in their positions.
Maybe, sure.
Maybe a little.
I mean, it's something to mention.
I'm just saying, it's like maybe it makes it a little bit worse than Spirals. She is not blameless. She's the worst.
Okay, maybe.
Anyways.
Yeah. I would also be remiss if we just skip over the fact that Galena and Tarna used to hook up.
No. Galena tried to make it continue. Okay, no, you're right.
They used to hook up.
And Galena wanted to continue once they were asked to die, but Tarna
said no.
It's shocking.
But also, I don't think that aged very well. I think it's not great. This whole we're just going to hook up while we're here, but then now we're old and I'm not going to make this continue.
Well, Tarna actually kind of mentions it's like, as novices and accepted, it's more like socially acceptable. It seems like Aes Sedai as a faction, it's not acceptable to have relationships.
I know. I also think it didn't age that well because we have Tarna who's like, I'm more into men anyway.
Sure.
It's kind of like that whole trope about, gay for the stay.
Situational lesbianism.
Where it's like clearly Galena had feelings for Tarna.
Right. But she's also Black Aja, so like...
who cares about her? Yeah. But I'm just saying, it just felt a little off.
I agree.
And
I agree.
It's a throwaway, kind of.
It is.
But I do remember when we first met Galena, when we're in her perspective, she keeps noting all the beautiful women.
Yes.
And I was like, I think Galena is into women.
That's because she is.
Yeah, and so I get it. I get it now. And also, Galena beat the shit out of Tarna.
Yeah, but that was like separate.
Because she had a block.
Yeah, that was separate. And actually, that's separate, but also good to note because Tarna thinks that what Sylviana is doing to Egwene is way worse than what Galena did to Tarna to help her break that. So it's a messy situation.
Right. So back to what actually is happening here.
Right. There's so many throwaway thoughts that Tarna has.
I know.
Yeah.
This is just my little sidebar. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Those are my little notes on the side here. But now Elaida is like, she's been to Sylviana more than half the day every day for 9 days.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope Sylviana's being careful and doesn't break Egwene.
Yeah, we don't like her as a shattered person.
No, I want her bent to Tower Will. And we're not just going to beat that into her. And then Tarna's like, I don't think Egwene's going to break.
Well, she does say that. She also said that, like, Sylviana's going to be careful not to let that happen. But also it's important, like, another little throwaway thing. Tarna's like, I'm not going to tell her the actual situation because I don't want to get yelled at.
Yes.
I'm going to avoid that situation. He's like, that's a bad spot if your keeper is just not telling you things because you react so poorly.
It's like the literal definition of, like, tyrant, right?
I know. It's like they're going to hide stuff from you because they don't want to have to deal with you.
Well, yeah, and then same with all of the sitters or the heads of the Ajahs who aren't sharing information from their eyes and ears.
Yeah.
And then Tarna's keeping that from Elaida as well.
Like, for all we know, from what it sounds like, Elaida assumes that Egwene is still attending the novice classes.
Yeah.
With the groups of novices and not having her own private lessons individually.
And it's crazy that nobody's consulted the Amerlin seat on this novice who's still claiming to be the Amerlin seat.
But then when you're like, it's Elaida, it's not so crazy.
All the novices in the tower are literally like bowing to her.
I know.
And she's
They don't know that. The Aes Sedai don't know that. They don't know that yet.
No, they don't know that part. But they do know that the Aes Sedai are giving her private lessons.
Yes, which is probably Elaida wouldn't like. Anyways.
Yeah, and visiting Lyanna in the cells just all willy-nilly. No one's stopping that.
Yeah, it's cool.
It seems so wild. Okay.
Super cool.
Yeah. Now, the craziest part of this is how arrogant Elaida is. Because she's like, have Egwene attend me and serve my wine at dinner tonight with Maidani.
Right. It's like after we know where Egwene is headspace-wise after the 9 days, things are going well for Egwene right now. Like, she won a bunch of victories here.
Yes.
And now we're going to get it coming.
This almost feels like another victory for her.
Oh, and Tarna thinks, like, it's probably going to result in more Sylviana visits because, like, it's going to happen. But, like, yeah. For sure it's going to happen.
Right. But I also think that everything Egwene has been doing, and I'm going to just make a prediction here.
Yeah, you got it.
This is where the scene ends.
Right.
Because we're going to switch perspectives. So we actually don't get this Egwene meeting yet. And so my thought on this is that everything Egwene has been doing, she's going to play this well. I think she's
what does that mean, though?
I think that she's going to stay quiet.
Like perfect servant?
Not quite, because I don't think she's going to, like, bow and do the things she's supposed to.
Sure.
Unless she sees benefit to it.
Okay.
Right? Because she refuses to do that everywhere else.
Is it like undercover boss style?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that because everything is going well, what you don't want to do is tip off the person you want to pull down.
Right.
Because she really wants Elaida to be completely surprised.
Yeah.
Because if Elaida catches wind, then a bunch of shit changes for Egwene.
That's true.
And if she pisses Elaida off...
Like Crackdown style?
Yeah, because Elaida really could behead her if she wanted.
Sure. Or like lock her deep in the cells and never...
She could do a lot of things. And so because Egwene's mission is going so well, I'm really hopeful that Egwene will play this cool and it'll be really just funny for us,
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a good prediction.
But now I'm worried, I just
keep thinking of the undercover boss with Kylo Ren.
I know.
Like, I immediately knew it was Kylo Ren.
Yeah. I'm Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I like that, though. That's good.
That's, at least, Kate, that's my prediction because that's what I hope happens.
Sure.
But I also see that in Egwene that she's not going to be able to. Like, she might just, like, snap and ruin things.
But then, like, how does that run its course, though?
Or kills her. Just kills Elaida.
Okay.
Yeah,
Egwene
just like
kills
literally
Elaida.
like seize a knife at dinner.
For sure.
And just like literally stabs the shit out of her. Yeah. And it's only her and Maidani there. So her and Maidani like covered up. That's cool. I changed my prediction to that.
That's the one.
That sounds better.
Nailed it.
Egwene murders Elaida.
Love it.
Steak knife style.
Super duper.
Don't even need the power.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got that lesson from Swan a long time ago.
Yeah. Let's do that. I feel a little bad for Elaida. But not really,
Knowing that she's going to die pretty soon?
Yeah, now I know. Because now I know how she dies. I just figured it out.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I would like to
We had a good run with... We had 11 books. Like, that's a good run with Elaida. So, I think that's about... That's about it, right?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Now she's dead. Sorry, guys.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, let's take a really quick break, and then we're going to jump into the perspective change.
Right.
Okay, so we're back, and we are going to perspective change into Matt. And I just realized I just said the undercover Kylo Ren SNL bit.
Yeah.
He's Matt.
Oh.
In that bit.
Yeah.
So that's funny. Different.
With two T's.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, I would assume.
Yeah, I'd assume. I'd also assume that. Okay, so now I want to recap from you.
Sure.
When was the last time we saw Matt actually? Because we saw Rand having a colorful vision of Matt in the forest traveling with people.
Yeah.
And I think we saw...
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So they were traveling with the circus, and then Tuon was like, hey, I want to visit the dirtiest, stinkiest bar.
I remember.
The hell in Madarin.
Yeah.
So Matt was like, yeah, I'll take you to a hell. And then he doesn't. He takes it into like a medium the worst bar.
Place.
And then they start gambling because Tuon's like, hey, I want to see you gamble. And then one dude like gets up and leaves the table. And then they gamble and it's like goes okay. And then they leave. And then Buddy, who left the table earlier, Matt and group get ambushed in the alley.
Yep.
Outside the bar, and then Matt tries to defend Tuon because like, oh my goodness, I don't want.
Oh, they have a big fight.
Huge fight. He gets all cut up.
And then that's when he calls Tuon by her name instead of Precious and loses the game.
Yeah,
okay.
And then Selusha for sure went bonkers on the thugs on the other side of the alley. And for sure killed a bunch of them, and then was like, "Yo, Tom, did you see anything?" And Tom was like, "I didn't see nothing."
Anything. Yeah.
Right. So that happened, and then Tuon was like, "Yo, I win." And then they were like, "We gotta get out of here.
We gotta go."
Exactly, because then there was also the news that there's a bunch of Shanshan who are looking to murder Tuon because there's like
that's
the
Tuon order
stuff.
Because of the whole Suroth thing.
Exactly.
With who? Semirog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's like, hey, you want to be ruler of the Shanshan? And yeah.
So I was like, yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. All you got to do is kill
Get
Tuon.
Tuon killed.
There you go.
Okay, right. I forgot about that because I thought, in my brain when I thought they left the circus when they actually didn't?
Right.
I never really actually fixed my thought.
Because he was like, we got to leave. But then it's like, no,
and
actually,
here,
no one
he's
left.
got all these wounds that he won't take healing for.
Yeah.
And I was like, when?
Yeah.
Where? I forgot about that
yeah.
fight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was the one. And that's why they had to leave too, because it was like, oh, we're going to get framed for murder because we killed a bunch of people. And then
that was like last book, right? Or was that the beginning of this book?
That was chapter 11. That was like 14 chapters ago.
Oh, never mind.
That was yeah.
Lots have happened since then. We watched an entire season of the show.
That's true. But also
I'm a little mixed up.
Tuon murdered one of the people. Well, I say murder, but she killed the guy by jamming the knife, and then Mal was like, "Whoa, that's severe.
Crazy." Okay, so let's get into it then. So Matt and his crew are currently traveling through the countryside, and if you want, we can talk about the 7 different types of trees that are in this forest. But I'd rather just move on.
I prefer to talk about. We can roughly pinpoint where they are because they're in Altara.
A mountain range.
Yeah, well, the mountain range they're heading to is about 300 miles to the east, and he wants to reach it in about a week, and then from there they can be inside Mirandi. So they're in Altara, close to Mirandi, and it's a lot safer than going north to Andor or south to Ilion. So you can kind of triangulate roughly where they are, which is the middle of friggin' nowhere.
Okay.
If that helps.
Sure, doesn't, but that's fine.
Okay, there you go. What I do like is that they are taking a little bit of a breather.
Yep.
And then Matt is eating some greasy rabbit leg or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like a whole back and forth because it's like the Tuon Selusha thing and Mr. Sinan is still here too.
Yep.
And then Matt makes eye contact with them and then intentionally wipes his greasy fingers on his pants.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Like a hooligan.
Exactly. And they're like, there's a stream right there. But you're just like dirty, gross guy wiping your fingers on your pants.
And he's like, yep, I am.
Nobody calls me toy.
Nope.
Right.
Except Tuon.
That's like his...
Tuon does, for sure.
It's so
also,
funny.
He's using strikers to light his pipe.
Matches.
And Eludra's like, stop wasting those just to light your pipe. And he's like, but they're so cool.
I need 2 days staying still with my shop
to make them.
And you're using it for your pipe. And Matt's like, this is great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right.
It's a fun world building thing, right?
Sure.
There's advancements.
There is a lot. Most of this perspective is world building, I feel.
And
it's like, what is happening?
But it's important. Eludra's perfecting her craft. There is some stuff we have to consider.
Let me give you an update on their journey here.
Sure, okay.
So they had to buy over 60 pack horses before leaving the circus.
Right. A bunch of it's for Eludra's stuff.
Yeah, because she's with them.
Yeah, she's coming.
Now we have Lylewyn, in brackets Aegianin.
But she is Lylewyn
now.
And Matt is considering her Lylewyn because that's the only way she responds.
That's the only way she responds. Damin, they got married.
Yep.
So they're here together. Julian and Amathera.
Julian
and Amathera.
Oh, man.
Tuan and Solutia. Noel is playing Snakes and Foxes with Oliver, telling stories about Shara again.
Classic.
And I'm still, like, waiting for this guy to come out and be super suspicious and, like, wreck everything. But he's just, like, chilling, traveling with them still.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm just waiting on it. I'm waiting on something.
Okay.
I'm just waiting on something.
Like
That's
what?
all.
He's
I
an
don't know.
old man.
Nuh-uh. He's more than that.
Well,
there is something.
He's Jane Farstrider's cousin.
Yeah, is he actually Jane Farstrider? Remember, that was what I said last time before?
Maybe. I don't really recall that
because
you're also
he's Jane Farstrider? Got it.
No,
cool.
super, yeah. So, but like also maybe, but there was something about the fish that you were like, what's he doing with the fish? And I was like, he's catching fish. And you're like, where did the fish go? Because he like ran to put it away or something like that.
I don't remember
you really
that
caught
at
up
all.
with the fish thing.
I don't remember. All I know is that everything about him feels weird and suspicious.
Okay,
so,
fair. Okay, even though he hasn't done anything,
not yet,
to put anyone in jeopardy.
You know,
and he's helped.
Playing the long game.
Life.
He's clearly playing the long game. Clearly.
Okay. Okay, I'll accept that.
Okay, so now we have Jolene.
Right.
Jolene.
Right.
Please don't take my man.
Yeah, she has two men, Blarick and Fen.
Okay, we have Bethamin and Seta, who are the Suldams, who now are learning to channel.
And not Renna, because she's dead.
Renna's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Teslin and Edicina.
The other two Aes Sedai.
Yep. But now, I'm trying to remember. So, especially when later on we get news of what's happening kind of in Tarvalin.
Right, yeah.
Just so I have my character straight.
Yeah.
Teslin and Jolene were in Ebu Dar at the palace together, sent by Elaida.
Yes.
But they
kind
are
of like as a punishment almost.
As punishment. Yeah. And they were like turning on Elaida sort of because they weren't sending information.
Yeah, they were just doing nothing instead of doing something, and that was them like fighting Elaida because she sucks.
Yeah.
Not because they're necessarily against her, just because like, I hate this, I'm just not going to do it in my job. I'm not doing my job.
Yeah.
And then Teslin got taken as Damani. Jolene did not, because Jolene is green and had warders to protect her. Teslin is red, did not have warders to protect her. So Teslin's like, fuck the Damani and the Suldam, I'm not doing this. And Jolene's like, it's fine. And then Edicina was the one who they were like, we gotta rescue, who is also Damani.
Okay. Right, because Jolene was the one who, or was it Edicina who was in the basement? No, Jolene was in the basement.
Edicina was Damani, but they were like, we gotta save Edicina too, because there's hope for her.
Okay.
So that's why when we're talking about Bethamin, who can channel, then the people who are going to train her are Jolene and Edicina, and Teslin's like, F that, I'm not doing the training because Bethamin's a Suldam. I'm not training her. She can die.
Her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Now, Matt thinks about how he's feeling good about his situation right now because he's avoided a murder charge in Madarin. He's avoided the Shanchen trap that could have killed Tuon, and he's escaped the Golem for good.
We did it, guys. And I'm
like, hey, number one, no, that's not how Golems
also,
work.
He should be feeling content, but he's not feeling content.
Right, he's just not happy.
Right.
And that's probably because he took a bunch of wounds.
Yeah.
And he's refusing healing.
Uh-huh.
And
they're all infected.
He's not feeling good.
Because he's got infections.
Uh-huh.
He's got a fever.
He let Vannon stitch him up, like the old times.
No, his manservants, right?
Isn't that Vannon?
No, Van is the big fat horse thief.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's the one? Someone.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he have different manservants now?
No, his manservants are Narum and Lopin.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the same guys.
Okay.
Same two.
Okay, whatever. Now, surprisingly, Tuon is 100% on board with using the power for healing because one of her best pets...
Yeah, Mylan.
Who was a former Aes Sedai.
Yeah, exactly. That she was taken from Falma, brought back to Shanchen.
And she taught us that she knows this, and I had her teach the other Suldam, and it's
great.
really useful.
Yeah.
And now some of the blood and some other people aren't comfortable with the power touching them, and she gets that. She's like, but for you, I don't get that.
Right.
And Matt is like, if you knew about the encounters I've had with the power and with Aes Sedai, you'd get it.
Don't want it. But also, I'm like, Matt, you should probably just like...
I know. He probably should just do it.
It's really cool.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Amathera screams. And I'm like, oh, good. Because we've had like 4 full pages of just description of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, something's happening.
Prank.
And it's like, oh my God, a snake. What kind of snake? What's going on? Nothing.
It's just like a regular...
It's just literally a fucking snake.
That's it. On the den.
That's it. That's all it is.
It's not just... It's a 7-foot snake. It's
a big snake.
It's a big snake.
But
it's a black lance.
So anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
But here's the thing. It's a lead-in. It's a lead-in to the Matt and Tuon relationship.
Which also stupid.
It's like we could have done anything else, but it has to be, oh no, there's a snake. And then Julian's like, Julian's like, I'm going to go get it. And Matt's like, you should probably leave it alone because it's going to get you.
And it just goes on. And I was like, oh, no one's getting bit.
No.
There's not a big thing about it.
Matt explains
it's not some kind of forsaken
snake.
Right? Like I thought maybe, right? Like
some sort of snake
and I'm like,
forsaken that has a snake as a pet.
Yeah. Oh no, that's Voldemort.
Right.
Shoot.
Okay.
Oh, so maybe that's why I was like, oh, evil big snake. Nagiri.
Nagiri? No, that's
sushi. Nagini.
Okay.
Nagini's the big snake.
Let's do a shot. I'll explain the snake situation.
Now, I think we do need a Forsaken to have a snake.
Snake pet, yeah.
Forsaken. Why is the chapter symbol snakes?
If there's no snake pet.
Probably that's where my head went. And I'm like, oh my God, snake, this is a big deal. And then it literally is no deal.
Yeah.
Deal or no deal? No deal.
No deal.
Okay, get me shots.
Okay,
that was a funny one.
Yeah.
And probably why I thought the snake was a big deal.
For sure. That makes sense. Like, I'm not blaming you.
Yeah. Cheers. Okay.
All right. You okay?
No.
Recovered?
No.
So here's the thing. Matt and Tuon go into like this whole back and forth about, oh, you're the man who let the poisonous snake go. And Matt's like, oh, maybe that's like an omen or something like that. And then they have a whole conversation. Whoa. And I'm not there yet. I'm on the kissing thing. We're still talking about the fact that they're like, oh, it's poisonous. But then I gotta be like, okay, is it poisonous or is it venomous?
Oh.
Right?
See, that's what your fun fact could have been.
If it bites you and you die, it's venomous. If you bite it and you die, it's poisonous.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Because snakes have venom because they inject the venom into...
Yes.
Right?
But poison is something... Okay.
Yeah.
Is its venom poisonous?
No, it's venomous.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
And if it's just venom, then it infiltrates you and takes over your mind and makes you become evil Spider-Man.
I love it. Okay, that's a great reference.
Thanks. Did I get that right at all?
Medium.
Kind of like the host, right?
It's like 6 out of 10. Yeah. It's great.
That's all I remember. He's like, do bad stuff. And he's like, no, I don't want to. That's all I remember from that movie.
You become Eric Foreman, and then it's like, it's all good.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Topher Grace was...
In that movie?
Yeah. Like...
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Okay,
McGuire.
What are we talking about? Let's get back to the...
An old movie.
Okay, let's get back to the medium interesting stuff that's happening in here.
Right, okay. So they're like, kiss me. No, she's like, kiss me.
Okay.
He's like, maybe.
He's like, what? No, let's go for a nice romantic walk later.
Yeah.
Everybody's here.
No, and she's like, I'm going to be bored later. Let's do it now.
She's like, you might not get to.
And
so he's like, okay. And then he's like, so thoughtful and considerate. So she doesn't want to slap and pickle.
Yeah.
It's, she doesn't want a little slap and tickle. She's not some barmaid.
Right.
So I'm going to give her a nice chaste kiss.
Don't want to be pushy. Don't want to be aggressive. Mm-hmm. Gives her a little smooch.
Little smooch.
Yeah.
And then she's like, do I remind you of your sister or your mother? Right. And then everybody laughs because she's the best comedian around.
It's great.
And then Matt's like, okay.
He does a few stretches.
You want a good kiss?
Shakes it off.
You wait.
Here we
wait
go.
And see.
Here we go. Well, he does it.
He does a big kiss.
Big kiss. A good one.
A good big kiss. And he even thinks she's not that good at it at first.
Right.
But she's a quick learner.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
We're
both a little breathless, feeling like this was a great kiss.
Yeah.
I wonder how Tuon feels about her first kiss ever, for sure.
Like, probably,
yeah, though. No, he's thinking like, oh, she for sure didn't know how to kiss before because she was so bad.
But that's what I'm thinking. It's like, because also it's like Tuon, darling, like, who is she kissing?
Yeah.
Probably nobody.
No one.
Yeah.
Unless this is the way to test for fever.
Sure.
In Shanshan.
Oh, you got to kiss. You got to smooch.
With tongue.
Right.
Well, you need it. And so it's interesting. Oh, gross. Don't do it like that. No. Ew.
I have to make some sort of visual.
That was
when
so
you're
gross.
Like, it's not kissing, it's testing for fever.
Yeah.
What is she doing with her tongue?
Testing for fever. Which is interesting because you can test if somebody's warm by touching their lips.
Yeah, well, you're
and also
warm.
The thermometer goes in under the tongue.
Yeah.
So you really got to get your tongue under their tongue.
Oh yeah, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds like that's like 99.5."
Exactly, right?
Yeah,
That's, maybe even over 100.
You know why she's a bad kisser? Because she held her tongue under his tongue for 30 seconds so she could get a proper temperature reading.
Beep, beep, right?
And he's like, why is she making beeping noises?
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay.
I do think, though, it's interesting, though, because that is a way you can tell if someone has a fever.
I know.
By touching their lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny because like fever is like you can touch their forehead, you can touch their cheek.
Lots of things, but specifically if the mouth gets hot though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Like more hot.
She's putting her tongue inside of his ear, testing the
and she clearly knows about
armpit.
some stuff.
Yeah.
But she's like, I thought you're feverish. That must mean your wounds are infected.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she's like, Solutia, go fetch my ointments. I thought she was going to be like, yo, I said I get your ass over here right now. You're healing him whether he wants it or not. Because that's a 2-on move, right?
Yeah, but also it seems like maybe she respects it. She maybe not
she clearly
understand.
Is,
like,
and I actually do appreciate that.
Yeah, she's
but
like,
at the same time, come on, Matt. Just consent to it. Just be healed, please.
Just get healed. Well, also, but like he was injured in Abu Dar for months with a broken hip because of Walthaw.
I know, but now we're in a day and age where an infected wound can literally kill you.
So can a broken hip.
Yeah, but his hip healed. It just hurts sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you
it
know what?
It didn't heal like that well,
here's the problem. Matt knows that he's Taviran, and he's like, infection's not going to take me down.
Well, no, because there's intervention.
Right.
Yeah, because somebody is like, nah, you
someone
gotta
else is
going to
take care of you. So.
Yeah, exactly,
okay.
Right? But anyway, Matt's like, I don't have time for your ointments because they're interrupted by an announcement that riders are coming and one of them is Vannon.
Yeah.
So Vannon was out scouting or something, I guess?
Yeah, well, okay, so their whole thing is they're in the countryside, they're heading towards a mountain range, and there's a whole bunch of like backstory in this chapter that's
about
like buried
Vannon,
a little bit.
Who knows about this pass because of smugglers.
It's a smuggler pass, and it's like only smugglers use. It's not like an official roadway, but he knows a way to get through the mountain. So Vannon is like scouting out the area so they can lead them that way, so they can be in the next place where they want to be in the next week or so.
Yeah.
And then Vannon comes back, and it's like, okay, why are you back? And it's because he's got a guy with him. That guy. Talmanis.
You know what? Good.
The band's back, baby.
I've been saying, where the hell is that guy? We just saw them wandering around.
Yeah.
That was the last time we saw them. And
they're
now
like,
they're like, Matt's in trouble. And he legitimately was.
Yeah.
Now, like, not so much.
Here we go. Well, I mean, debatably.
I mean, he's in a little bit of trouble. And it's nice now that the band's back together. This is good timing.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it.
He was in more danger previously, but what could the band have done?
I wanted them to go in and really rescue him from the palace.
I know what you wanted.
Anyway, this is exciting.
It is! I love the band, and I love that Matt is seemingly going to be reunited with the band.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do you mean seemingly? Why you say it like that?
Well, just because it's like, technically Talmanis is here.
We haven't seen them yet.
And he's like, I got some of the troops here, but we don't actually officially have...
Well, Matt doesn't really have any other options at this point.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, let's reunite with the band.
Yeah.
Although, it seems like Vannon caught Talmanis up to speed on most things that are going on.
Yeah, basically
like
everything.
Like Nalisian being killed by the Golem, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Matt is angry that Talmanis is here.
Yes. Well, the orders was like, you got to stick with Egwene. If Egwene needs you...
gotta help her,
gotta
right?
help her.
And so Matt is like, well... Egwene must have never ended up asking for help with the Aes Sedai.
Right.
And Talmanis is like, you got that whole situation wrong. She really is the Amerlin seat. They can travel.
Yeah.
And they're besieging Tarvalin. She might even be there now.
Yeah. It's like
sieging
that.
Tarvalin.
They can make the gateways. They can do the They can do the stepping through the doorways, man. So
and
like whatever you thought.
she legitimately is leading as Amerlin seat.
Yeah, and like as a recall, just because Matt had walked into and remember the whole like feet up on the desk thing,
and then Nynaeve hitting him. Yeah, remember?
Yeah, which makes sense because
or kicking him in the butt, or did Nynaeve kick?
She kicked him in the butt.
Or did he kick Nynaeve in the butt?
No, Nynaeve kicked him, and he was like, "I'm gonna get you back," and then he was like, "Whoa, what's happening?"
Yeah,
here?
that was weird.
And it's like you went to school with somebody in high school with them, and it's like now they're like,
no,
"I'm president."
More like you babysat. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought
with
you
the
were
whole
talking about
Matt
the
Egwene situation was like, I also wouldn't believe her if she's like, "I'm the president." It's like, no, you're fucking not.
Yeah.
It's like, good joke, but we gotta leave. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
So,
although with someone like Egwene, like okay,
like maybe,
and the whole
maybe
situation is like crazy.
It is.
Everything's crazy here, but where we last left the band was they were following a little bit behind
Right.
the Aes Sedai and Gareth Bryn and his army.
And Egwene was using that to her advantage.
Yes, she was. She was very strategic in that.
Yeah.
And the band was just following behind and collecting anyone who didn't join Gareth Bryn's army.
Yeah, they were going
that's how they're like growing.
We got big numbers. Yeah.
This is when Talmanis tells Matt, we're doing pretty good.
We got numbers. So I have a little bit of a breakdown just so you can understand because
I do not.
It's very convoluted because Talmanis is like, I brought 3 banners of horse and 4,000 crossbowmen. And then Matt's like, whoa, that's a lot, but how am I going to pay for that? Because it's like, whoa, we got way more back at the other camp. Like they're heading into Andor.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Like,
I made a deal.
I made a deal with the king, right? King Rodra, and we got all that situation
Brandy,
too.
Right?
Yeah, and then I love the fact that Talmanis is like, don't worry about paying for it because aren't you friends with the Dragon Reborn? Like, don't you have some of that money coming in?
You got some connections, bro.
Like shouldn't you be getting some sort of like estates or something? And Matt's like,
I hate nobles. I will never be one.
It's like, Matt.
It's like, you're already like a freaking noble. Like,
yeah.
Stop.
So here's the breakdown of where we were with Matt's Band of the Red Hand count to where we are today. So initially, when Matt left, he thinks that we had 2 banners, which was counting horse and foot soldiers. So as a rough estimate, a banner of horse are going to be about 1,500 horse units.
Okay.
Like soldiers on horses.
Sure.
Foot soldiers is going to be double that, 3,000 foot soldiers.
Okay, to a banner.
Exact, to a banner. So when he's like 2 banners, horse, like counting horse and foot, they had maybe about 4,000 troops.
Sure.
Right? And now we get the breakdown. It's like there's 3 banners of horse here with 4,000 mounted crossbowmen. And then there's 3 banners of horse and 5 banners of foot and
masons or
something. A banner of masons. Because, like, you might want to build bridges or something.
Yeah.
It's important when you're traveling around the countryside, I guess.
Yeah.
So roughly, we've got 6 banners of horse total. So about 9,000 cavalry.
Okay.
And there's 5 banners of foot. So about 15,000 soldiers.
Whoa.
So we went from about 4,000 to maybe closer to 34,000.
Cool.
So we increased significantly.
I'm here for that. Go Band of the Red Hand.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, fuck.
It's a campaign. I can't gamble at the bars to pay for 30,000 soldiers.
Someone's like, don't worry about it. We're good for at least a year.
Yeah.
And we're probably fighting the last battle by then.
Totally.
Relax. Relax about paying people. But this is when Tuon and Selucia ride up, clearly wanting an introduction. They want to know what's going on. And Matt gives Talmanis this big, grand introduction, talking about titles and honors and everything. And then he's like, this is Tuon.
Yeah.
Because as long as Tuon is calling him Toy, he's not going to use any titles.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the line he's drawing because he's like, well, I clearly can't call her Precious anymore.
Well, he's tried that, and she literally doesn't respond.
Yeah.
So he can't.
So it's like, here's the next thing.
But I love it because then it's very obvious. And it's like, clearly Vannon told him, it's like, oh, we got the Daughter of the Nine Moons, man.
That's a big deal.
And then Talmanis clearly knows. So he does, like, the deep bow. He's like, ruined.
But not ruined, because it's a message to Tuon more than anything.
Sure,
like,
okay.
I'm not going to acknowledge your titles.
Yeah.
Right?
And like I always say, in a healthy relationship,
always be getting back at each other without telling each other why.
Exactly.
Love that. Good advice. Solid.
Yeah.
But now, we do have some bad news.
Right.
About this smuggler's pass, because she gone.
It's gone. Landslide.
A
couple guys died trying to get past it or something.
Yeah, and then Talmanis sent other guys to try to figure out if we can get past it. Died, broken leg.
Yeah.
2 of those things.
I love Matt's reaction because he's like, well, Vannon, go find a new pass.
Just go find a new one.
And Matt's...
Vannon's like, that's not how passes work.
Like, what do you mean, go find a new mountain
That's not how
pass?
roads work.
I love it. Because it's like, literally, Vannon's like, okay, I'm going to break this down for you real simple.
New mountains, old mountains.
So mountains in general, it's like, sometimes if there's like old mountains, we know where the passes are. Other mountains,
crazy, the breaking mountains,
don't know.
Crazy shot up out of the power, out of the ground.
Yeah, it's like not even like natural flows of the earth. It's just like whatever, man, whatever's happening. So when you're like, go find a new pass, can't do that.
Okay, how did the band get from Mirandi to where they are now?
Yep, that's a good question. They walked, probably. I would have to assume
through that pass.
Yeah, maybe.
Before or after the landslide?
Yeah, anyways, so like the next chapter's coming up now real quick.
Yeah, because like I feel like 30,000 men traveling from
it's not 30,000 because no. Okay, the majority of the units are heading north to Andor.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yes, you did miss that part.
Why are they doing that?
Because Talmamos was like, hey, go to Andor.
Why?
And they're like, okay, next best place to be.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but still, thousands of people and horses.
Yeah.
They were in Mirandy, where Matt wants to go.
Yeah.
Recently.
Right.
Relatively.
Sure.
Before and or after this landslide.
Yeah. Maybe they got through and then like we're not 100% clear. That's why I said like allegedly we're like meeting up with the band, or at least a portion of it. So like we gotta see what's actually happening here.
So what you're telling me is it doesn't matter and I shouldn't think too hard about it?
At least Talmanis is here.
Okay. Don't ask questions.
That's what I would prefer sometimes.
You know, but sometimes these questions need to be asked because...
What do you think?
Because if they got from Mirandy to here, then they probably know the route from here to Mirandy, right?
Yeah, well, okay. So, no, yeah, okay, fair. Anyways.
Not going to talk about that?
Not really, because we did get the whole, like, oh, we were going through the mountain pass, and now the landslide and stuff, and we tried to figure out how we can go back through it.
But they want to get to Mirandy. That's where they wanted to go?
Well, that's where Matt wants to go.
And that's where the band came from?
Allegedly.
So there's probably another way?
Maybe, or we can just find a new way, or a new place to go.
Which is fine. It's fine with me. I know Matt needs to get to Andor where the Tower of Genjai is.
Well, he does not think about that very much this chapter.
He thinks about it once, about how he doesn't want to think about it.
Exactly.
When Oliver's playing Snakes and Foxes,
he's like, I wish you would stop bringing that up.
I hate that. It bothers me because I don't want to think about what I'm going to have to do. And I'm like, guys, let's go. Moraine, we need to rescue her.
Yeah.
Like, let's go quick.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out.
For sure.
Lots of questions I'm asking you don't have answers to. That doesn't usually happen.
I'm not answering him.
Because you don't have answers.
Yeah,
Got it.
That's fair.
Got it. Maybe someone might.
Yeah.
You don't. And that's what's important here.
Okay.
But basically, this ends with Matt being like, we need a new game plan. And like maybe Talmanis is about to be like, hey,
I have a game plan
because this is where we came from if that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not where we want to go.
Right. Where do we want to go? Matt's kind of like, again,
we want to escape Seanchan.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to get into Mirandy.
Yeah.
Because we sort of have Seanchan migrating north towards Andor. So I thought we were avoiding Andor because of Seanchan.
Well, Matt is just avoiding everywhere but he also wants to return to Seanchan.
To Ebudar at some point.
So that she can like reclaim but it's a dangerous situation. There's a lot of question marks.
It's convoluted for sure.
It's almost as if there's more to the book that you have to read.
Oh, weird.
I don't know.
Isn't it? This isn't the end of the series?
It's not. That's not it. There's a little more.
Yeah, okay. I'll accept that. I'll accept that answer. That's fine. That's fine. Well, next episode, are we still doing one chapter? When do I get to?
We are doing one chapter still because they're a little bit long still.
But we're back to regular release schedule?
We are. Now that the show is done, we're going to be doing every Tuesday and every other Friday.
Every second Friday. Yep.
So we do have that. So we've got chapters 26 to 31 are solos.
Okay.
And then we're doubling up basically to the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's still a lot, though, by themselves. But at least we are going to be moving faster. Because we're going to record almost twice a week. So at least I get to move faster through the book and feel as though progression is being made.
We'll be done this book by like the end of November, beginning of December.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Now being halfway through October for
Got
time
it.
frame. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So now, before you go ahead and be really scared of a snake that actually doesn't matter to the plot at all, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's the end of another fun episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted, edited, and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Eric Reed, and KoD Ch. with music by Audionautics. Please be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you, plus you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. All that and more can be found at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us because of algorithms and all that fancy stuff. And be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the very best compliment you can give us. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.